Hello, my name is Navigator, and in today's video I wanted to start a new series where I go over my favorite lore from the Fallout series. This game means a lot to me, or I should say this game series means a lot to me, and it has a lot of really unique and interesting stories to tell. I'm sure that as I go through this series, there will be stories that a lot of you guys have heard, and maybe you haven't heard. If you play 76 a lot, and that's really why you're on my channel, I know that a lot of people out there actually haven't played the other Fallout games. The games that I'm available to show off to you include New Vegas, 3, 4, and 76. And those are the only Fallout games that I have actually played myself. I am knowledgeable about Fallout 1, 2, Tactics, and even some stuff about Van Buren, but these are the only games that I have access to. So these different stories are going to kind of go across those 4 games, and yeah, I guess you'll have to see them. But I wanted to start off the first video by going over my favorite piece of lore, my favorite story, my favorite person from the entire Fallout series, and that is going to be Randall Clark. But most of you might know him as the Survivalist. So, I am here in Zion Canyon, Utah, approximately 200 odd years after the bombs have dropped, and this place is still pretty beautiful. Now, aside from being in game, this is Fallout New Vegas, a game that came out in I think 2009, 2010. So the graphics aren't really too great, but I'm on my Series X here, and honestly, I just played this game within the past year, and this was unbelievable. I couldn't believe how great this game looked, even being, almost over a decade now. So, getting that out of the way, I do want to talk about the Survivalist. So, again, if you guys haven't played this game, maybe you have, maybe you didn't play Honest Hearts, the Survivalist is one of the most, honestly, heartbreaking and inspiring stories from the entire Fallout universe. So, I guess I could start off by talking about who he is. Randall Clark was a former United States Army serviceman, and the day that the bombs dropped, he was driving home to his family, and he saw the nuke go off. Fortunately, he was facing away from the explosion, and he wasn't blinded, but upon getting out of the car, he found out that some people alongside him were victim to that. There was an instance of an old couple who were completely blinded by the light, and he unfortunately had to put them out of their misery by shooting both of them. Just one of the grim tales that he has on his career roster, I guess. After that, he decided to go back home, but honestly, he didn't think it'd be a good idea. His home of Salt Lake City, Utah, had been completely hit with a nuke, so it was nothing short of rubble. And to further back that up, a couple years later, he did in fact end up going there once the radiation levels had subsided, and there was honestly no telling one street from the other. He was totally lost. There was no way he could find his home. He managed to come out here to Zion Canyon, though, and being a former serviceman, he was well versed in outdoors and survival techniques. He was just a really rough or a roughing-it kind of guy, almost like a Boy Scout. So he decided to come out here and, live amongst the caves, and that's exactly what he did. And when we come here to help out Joshua Graham and the Sorrows, and to fight off the White Legs, we end up coming across different pieces of his story. It would honestly take too long to go into every little bit and piece of this story, and I kind of just wanted to get this story to you guys. But again, like I said, you can find different caves in the map, and each one of these caves has a different terminal entry or series of terminal entries that tell Clark's story. So some of these include him meeting and, not meeting, but watching other people come into the canyon and watching their stories unfold. One of these included a group of Mexican natives who must have traveled up here, gone north after the bombs dropped, and they ended up settling here, but they ended up getting captured by some cannibals. And those cannibals turned out to be from a local vault, which was very unfortunate, and Randall had to sit from the caves and just watch as these people were being tortured and killed. It was something awful. He definitely had a good stomach, though, I'll tell you that. Over his time here, though, he developed traps and different ways of kind of communicating and defending himself. Communicating with others and defending himself. As you go through these caves, there's lots of booby traps, different tripwires and mines and all that kind of stuff. But he also decided to leave little notes and gifts for the children and different people who were surviving here in the canyon. And eventually, as time went on, the people here descended into almost like a tribe-like faction, and they had traits and cultures very similar to what we see with the Native Americans of today. The name that they came up with him, for him, I guess you could say, was the Father of the Caves. Now, keep in mind, Randall Clark was here for a very, very long time. He was here upwards of 70 years. Opening up my phone here and looking on the wiki, honestly, that's the best place to look for it. He was born on February 5th, 2053, and died on January 23rd, 2124. So keep in mind, Fallout 76 is set somewhere between, right now it's set in 2108. So Randall Clark is currently still alive, a couple decades short of dying and passing away during the Fallout 76 game. So a little fun fact there I figured you guys would be interested in. Actually, my character for 76 once had an interaction with him, but that's a story for another day. Anyways, I could go all day talking about these crazy interactions, these heartbreaking interactions that Randall Clark had with the people of Zion Canyon, but honestly, there are other people out there that can tell a better story than I can. One thing I can show you, though, is Randall Clark himself. So dying of old age, not dying of old age, most likely cancer, Clark came up here to the Red Gates, which is one of the most beautiful places in the entire Honest Hearts DLC map. Coming over here, you can kind of see how it's just really such a great view of this whole canyon. It's almost exactly in the middle here. This is the gate itself. If you were to go down there, it's almost like you can pass through it, but just an absolutely beautiful place, and I think that is exactly why Mr. Randall Clark decided to finally rest and pass away here. So this right here, oh, my bad, I meant to crouch. I forget how to do that. I haven't played New Vegas in a while. This is Randall Clark, and coming over here, you can see this is the Survivalist duffel bag. Now, there is a final little holotape in there that marks his last little, I guess, message to the world. And one of the famous quotes that is associated with Randall Clark is, "It was a gift to me at the end of it all to behold innocence." And that, of course, is in reference to the people that he saw grow and develop here in Zion Canyon. Yeah, there's not really too much more I can talk about. The last things I should get out of the way before I get into why he is so important to me are two items that I carry with me wherever I go in this wacky world of New Vegas. So, first off, actually, I meant to put this on, is going to be the Desert Ranger armor. So this isn't Randall's, actually, originally. He found this when he was surveying Salt Lake City. He found it on a corpse, and if you look on here, you can kind of see it says Staff Sergeant Vickers, United States Marine Corps, right there on the little armor plate by the neck there. The next thing I can show is his rifle. Now, this is something that did belong to Randall. This is the Survivalist rifle. So you can see here, it's got arret, which I believe means stop or something like that. Honestly, I forget, but he must have carved that in there. I'm sure you guys in the comments could probably tell me what that means, but I should have prepared that ahead of time. Anyways, one cool feature about this gun, like I said, Randall was here for a very long time, and this rifle was here for an even longer time after he was gone. One awesome thing about this is that if you aim down the sights, you will notice that the sights are kind of off balance and the rightmost indicator is right in the middle of the gun. Now, this isn't a bug or a mistake at all. This is actually to show how bent and deteriorated the sights have been over time. I forget where I saw this. I believe Oxhorn probably put a video out on that, but I thought that was a wonderful detail, and they really did a great job telling this story, giving us some nice loot to kind of go along with it, and yeah. If you guys are familiar with my channel, you will notice that I look exactly like my other character. This kind of old man with the rebreather and the cowboy hat. This whole idea of being this kind of old vet-looking guy came from Randall Clark. Before I even had played New Vegas for the first time, I was watching Oxhorn lore videos about this guy, and I was like, wow, that is so awesome. And then when I first started playing this game, I could not wait to play this DLC. I saved it until after I beat the whole storyline, and then I played all the DLCs. Oh man, it was truly something awesome. I really can't express how much this story means to me. On top of, all the in-game stuff, I think that Randall Clark is an example of good morality within the game. I mean, this guy, He experienced a lot of stuff. He lost his entire family, and he was out here completely alone. Now, most people would have either killed themselves, which he came close to a couple times, or they would have, gone crazy. But I think that Randall, really believed in almost like a higher power, almost like the earth itself was a being that needed to be protected, and he decided to pass that on to the people that he met here. Again, I think that he is just one of the greatest people in this entire series. You really don't find somebody with such a captivating story. I mean, the other person I can think of who is honestly on the opposite end of the spectrum is Kellogg from Fallout 4 with such a really gripping tale. But Randall Clark, he's just such a badass, and honestly, he was really courageous and a really knowledgeable and intelligent guy. So, I'm not going to get too somber here. Fuck, I feel like I'm about to cry. I miss playing this game so much. But yeah, if you guys enjoy this, please let me know in the comments below. I usually ask for feedback on what I should do next, but that's going to be up to me. I'm going over my favorite lore from this series, so yeah. If you guys, again, are interested in this, please leave a comment below. Let me know if you want me to keep making these videos, and you definitely do have a say in that. So, yeah. If you haven't checked out my first episode on my new roleplay group interviews, be sure to go do that. I'm going to have a lot more of those coming very soon in the future. I have a whole roster of new groups that are ready to be interviewed, and I think you guys will really like it. So, without further ado, my name is Navigator. Have a nice day. Take care.